Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 527 for August 17th, 2022. And how's it going, everybody? I'm Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks for clicking on Ham Nation here on the Ham Radio Crash Course. To say that we have a large show would be an understatement. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready for Huntsville because, boy, we got a lot to talk about, and I'm not going to belabor it. Let's say hi to the full packed house we've got tonight. Look at this. Wow. So going around the room, let's start with George. George, I haven't seen you in quite, well, since Hamvention, right? We shared a plane on the way to Hamvention there, right? How you doing?
Well, it's good to see you too, Josh. Yeah, we had a great time at Hamvention this year. You would have never known we'd been through a pandemic, and we're looking forward to the same type of experience this weekend in Huntsville.
Well, me too. I'm very excited. And Bob, you're back again this week. It's good to see you too. How's it going?
Nice to be here. Thanks for asking me. And we've got a couple of really interesting things we want to talk about, but I'm still going. The rumor that I have retired, I don't know where that came from, but somebody read the press release wrong. Sarah retired, and she's out as we speak with her little grandson. It's coming up on 3 years, so she's got lots to keep her busy, and we're very, very happy because the company has really moved forward much the last couple of years. But we're still out here doing our thing on the air every day. You can find me every morning on 3885 in AM. See, that's the deal. But yeah, we're having fun. I appreciate you having me, and we're going to come back and talk about how I just got on 160 meters. That's been a real test, but we made it.
All right. Yeah. Randy, you're back too. It's good to hear you. You got a report for us later. So how are you doing?
Doing good. I got home Saturday. I was on the road for 4 weeks. Went to OshKosh for the air show. Went to Rochester, New York to see some family. And on the way back, I stopped in Rigby, Idaho to the Philo Farnsworth Museum. So we'll talk about a lot of this in a few minutes.
Excellent. Dawn, good to see you again. How's it going?
It's good. I'm just leading my boring life here in Picayune, America, going to work every day, and that's about it. But I'm very excited to be back at Huntsville after a 2-year hiatus for me personally. And, of course, there was no presence last year from Amateur Radio Newsline of the Young Ham of the Year Award. We did that virtually the last 2 years. So it's going to be really good to be back on stage at Huntsville presenting the Young Ham of the Year Award. I cannot wait. And I can't wait to meet you, Josh. We've never met in person yet, so I'm excited about that.
Well, you did. Hamvention 2019.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't go in 19.
Mm-hmm.
Or did I?
No,
may have been one of when it may. Hell, I've slept since then. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. Amanda, how's it going?
It's fantastic. And as everyone else has said, a packed show tonight. If you don't learn something this evening, shame on you, or find anything interesting on here. Anyhow, stick around. Josh and I are going to be trying to follow the chat room, but Josh is going to be overloaded. But thanks everyone for sticking around, and we have some fantastic guests coming up. I'm just going to keep them all quiet because wait until you see them.
Do the old @ Amanda in the chat room if you have questions. She'll see it and she'll make sure we talk about it. So yeah, very good. Well, let's catch up with Bob then. He's got a special thing, his project that he kind of mentioned, and he wants to talk about it. So Bob, take it away.
Yeah, well, we've been for years trying to get up a 160-meter antenna, but we have a very small lot. So that wasn't going to be possible. But I have a neighbor across the street. You have to be kind to your neighbors. Her husband, who's deceased some years, he was a ham. So she's a little bit warm in the heart about amateur radio. So she let me borrow one of her 70-foot trees. I have a neighbor beside me. He's got another 70-footer. And I've tried all kinds of people who do this and an infet and all that nonsense. Tim Duffy turned me on to the really neat antenna. Tim, tell us a little bit about this Kellerman antenna.
Well, Bob, the Kellerman line is a relatively new line. It's out of Europe, of wire antennas, and they make wire antennas for all the bands. And you came to me with a specific problem. You said, hey, maybe K3LR can solve this. And I said, Bob, we've got the antenna just for you. And it's the Kellerman 125-foot dipole antenna that works on 160 meters. So here it is. It's the KL38. And it is a beautiful antenna. It's finely manufactured. It does have a balun in the center, and but it is half the size of a normal 160-meter antenna, which was just perfect for going between those two 70-foot trees, Bob.
Yes, exactly. Well, I put a little video together, but when we show the antenna, I think the secret to it, the transmitter wants to see 250 feet of wire, and it does, but you're saying it's only 125. What they do, they come out of the balun at the feed point, and about a foot down the line, they have this neat little coil of about 60 foot of wire or so, and then continue on. So all of the wire is there. It's just not all stretched out. The only, I guess you say, the only sad thing is it's narrow, but with a tuner, no problem. You can make it wherever you want. But I'm very, very happy. And let's play this video I did, Josh, and this tells the whole story, really.
I want to bring to you something I've been dealing with for several years, a 160-meter antenna. Looking through the DX engineering catalog, this is what I found. This is the 125-foot long Kellerman 38. You'll notice it's got some very strange coils there. They're actually the rest of the antenna. And here it is all folded up or laced out for you. And you can see the center conductor that goes into a toroid. But there's those little coils. To me, I think it's about 60-some feet of wire each side, which makes up the whole 125 foot. As it comes, you're going to need to trim it. It's ready to go on very low frequency. We take it outside and we hook up the rope from the tree. And here we lay out our string. This is very important because we're going to use Mike's air gun, Mike, WA9MW. He built this and it works great. So here goes Mike getting the bullet up into the 70-foot tree. There he goes. Pow! We take the rope. We're using synthetic rope from DX Engineering. It's pulled up to the tree that he shot that string in. And here we are hooking it up to one end of the antenna. At this point, we spend some time trimming. We trimmed about 6 foot off of each side, but it sure works right in the middle of the band where I needed it. And here it is in the air. You can hardly see it across the street from one neighbor to another. They're so gracious to allow me to do this. And so we're happy with the installation. Very, very happy with the antenna. It's the only thing that I've ever tried that works on 160 meters, and it's 125 foot, actually a little less because we trimmed some off. So thank you to Tim Duffy and all at DX Engineering for this great Kellerman 38 160 meter antenna. We'll see you there.
Yes. The first night I got on the air, I was running about, I didn't want to get crazy. I was running about 250, 300 watts. And I talked to about 6 or 7 guys. We're just across the river from St. Louis in the shadow of the Arch, about 15 miles east of there. And we had talked to a guy in Lexington, a guy near Louisville, a guy in Indianapolis, a guy in Kansas City, And we're talking a pretty good swath through the Midwest. None of the reports were under 10 over, and a couple of them were 30 over. So we have any doom and gloomers? I can't argue with that. I put it up to work, and guess what? It does. And so I'm really excited. And Tim, thank you so much for turning me on to that. I want to say one thing. You do have to cut some off. We started off, we cut 3 foot, and that didn't work. Each end at the same time, you can't just do one because it has to be balanced. But I think we ended up actually with a little more even to get it right where I wanted. Right now it's sitting at 1940, and it's perfect. SWR somewhere under about 1.5 to 2 right in there. So good enough, don't you think, Tim?
I think that is good enough, Bob. Yes, the antenna does come, so it will work down in the lowest part of 160 meters. So it comes cut for 1825 or 1.825. And of course, a lot of FT8 users are using this antenna at 1.39, 1.38. So, but yeah, you cut it and you can put it anywhere in the band, and you want it to go up higher in the band, and it's going to work great up there. And I'm sure it'll be battle tested here through the winter, and we'll look forward to more reports.
There's another thing that maybe you wouldn't think about. I have another 75-meter antenna that's, I should have gotten those samples. I've got some pieces cut off. And the 75-meter antenna is the same. It's about 6 or 7 strands of maybe 16 gauge wire, but it's all stranded, and it's worked great. However, it's very corroded. It went up there shiny copper, but now it's, and I don't know over the time what'll happen. What Kalman did, the same thing, only they encapsulated it with a clear coat of some kind, and it's very cool. So I think it's going to maintain all of its longevity. I'm looking forward to working a lot of people on 160, and I haven't been there in some years, but this is going to get me there.
And Bob, we have a couple questions too.
Oh, questions.
Yes. Barry would like to know, is there a power limit on this antenna? Can you fully go?
I believe there is a 1,000-watt limit, but I'd have to take a look at the. Each one of the antennas is a little different, Amanda.
Okay. So speaking of that, what's the final cost in investing in this antenna?
This antenna sells for $250, but it comes ready to go. And again, we have over 25 different models of the Kellerman antennas. So just go to the website and search for Kellerman, and they'll all come up.
All right, and I bet Josh will go search for that for us. And Bob, I am not familiar with 160-meter antennas, wires at all, and this is going to be a fun project. But I was surprised when you mentioned that you had to cut 6 feet off. Is that typical for getting it to the bandwidth that you want?
Yeah, well, the thing is that it comes all the way down to 1,800, as Tim said, the FT8 guys and so on, CW, whatever. But when you get up where I am, you're almost well past halfway, almost to the end of it. So you have to trim it so you get the right standing wave ratio. If you don't trim it, it's not going to work well, and that's true with any wire antenna.
Absolutely.
And
I think it's just at a different scale. You're trimming centimeters off of a VHF antenna, but when you're looking at something that's down right above the AM broadcast band, you're trimming feet off.
Yeah, I guess so.
And
go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I misspoke. It's $209. When Josh brought it up, it's $209.
Okay.
One other thing about it, we don't cut it. You don't do that. They have the coolest hardware. I should have took a better picture of that. They have the coolest hardware that you fold it back on itself and don't cut it off. What I did do, though, I think we cut about 2 feet off at first, and I had folded it back. That didn't work. So I went ahead and cut that off, but there's still 4 foot or more that's folded back should you ever want to lengthen it. And so I like that. And it, Tim, I don't know if you realize it has a wonderful end insulator. It's not that porcelain. I've had porcelains that they fracture, get ice or whatever. I don't know what. This thing is really done well. So I'm happy about all that. And last but not least, don't go to Lowe's and buy rope. That's the worst thing you can do, because it's going to last about a year and then it's going to disintegrate. Then you're going to have to get it up there. You buy the synthetic wire from DX Engineering. That stuff is amazing, and it's not very much money. And that's what I use in all my installations. When I was down in Missouri, I had a couple of 1,000 feet for all those antennas, but it's still good. I still got some of that rope. You want to look up their synthetic rope. It's really great. And I really appreciate you carrying that, Tim. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you, Bob. I think you're in good shape. I'm looking forward to working you on 160 meters.
We'll do that. I bet I can hear you.
I bet so too. Let's see. Do we have any comments from the peanut gallery tonight? Meaning Don, George, anyone?
I wish
How
I had
long-
the room for one.
Yeah, I'm good.
I need the space. Go ahead, George.
Yeah. How long did the antenna end up being, Bob? I missed that.
Well, it's 125 foot, and we cut about 6, maybe 7 foot off of, folded it back, about 6 or 7 foot off of each end. So it's really less than 125.
So how
I
do you
may
think
have
it
to
would,
check that out.
Yeah.
I will definitely have to check that out. I've got a Fritzl fan dipole for 160 and 80 meters. And that full size on 160 meters is about 252 feet. When you try to fan out something that big, you need a lot of land and you need a lot of height, and it's heavy. That 160 antenna that Bob and Tim just discussed is very, very intriguing.
Yeah, and what's interesting, I did a picture, and every morning when I go out of my studio to get in my car, I look, and I have a tough time seeing it. The only way I can see it is I look for those coils and follow the feed line. But it's not a problem at all, and I'm very fortunate that my neighbor is. Both neighbors allow me to use their trees, because height is a big part of it. I wish it was higher, but I'm just happy the way it is.
And a couple more questions. Ed wants to know, what is the bandwidth of this antenna and what is the gauge of the wire?
Well, Bob, I would think without the tuner, and you did talk about the fact that you like to use the tuner, but without the tuner, you're probably going to get 25, maybe 35 kilohertz, because it is short. I mean, there are laws of physics here too. So it's not going to have the bandwidth of Mark's 252 foot dipole, but it's going to be good enough, especially when you use a tuner. And Bob, what do you think? 14 gauge or so?
16 gauge on the website there, Tim.
It's 16.
Gauge. Here you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Turn it sideways a little.
Inside is at 16 gauge, but notice the plastic around it, or whatever it is. It's a clear coat, and it's just a protection of the wire. Here's the wire without the protection, and that's what I have from 75 meters. But boy, it's got all corroded, and I don't know what's going to happen years to come. But it's the same, looks like the same size wire as this one was, but they so cleverly encased it in that clear coat. It's
Looks like good stuff.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
This is dynamite stuff, yeah. So I'm happy.
I'm sure Tim has some solutions for a 75-meter replacement dipole when it comes down.
Yep. You got it. A lot of us, we suffered for years trying to do all kinds of stupid things, and you can't defy science, and you need you need the space. And this one's very clever with those little coils because I think there's actually 250 foot, but
I
it's
really
only
I love this design. And, I think a lot of us, when we have limited yard space, to go right to a loop. Is that right, Tim? That's our dipoles or our loops to help conserve.
There's a lot of short verticals too on 160 meters. I mean, it's always been challenging, Amanda, because of the size requirements.
Yeah.
So this is a nice way to try and handle. Bob's down to 110 feet now, and that makes it really convenient for a lot of people.
That's
All right,
almost
well,
G5 RV size.
I know, almost. And so chat room, you guys tell us how you do when you go out and buy this, and let us know.
Well, chat is reporting that it's sold out.
Uh-oh.
So I think we just sold you out,
Shocker.
Tim. It's gone.
It's like QVC here,
We didn't even have to put it on a little table and slowly turn it for you to
We
all
didn't
go
see the
buy
numbers
it.
keep going up. Number sold, number sold.
That's
Oh,
it.
that's funny.
Tim, you think I've been talking it up too much or what?
Well, good news is we always have large shipping containers coming from Europe, and so we'll make sure we get more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both.
Fantastic.
What's
Well,
that ice cream company? Buy all you want. We'll make more, I think is what they said, or
That's it.
yeah, something like that.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for bringing this to us. And Tim, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Bob, anything else you want to tell us about?
Yeah, this. I
Okay.
should have brought it. You guys know what that is?
Coax tool.
It's a coax.
It is
cutter.
from DX Engineering. So you can take your RG8, put her in there, dial it up, and it'll trim it off just the way you need it. And thank you, Tim. This thing really works. So don't worry about trimming off all your coaxes.
I'm glad you got it in the right color too, Bob.
Well, I think I did that. I really did.
And mine's red.
It's special for you, Bob.
Uh-huh. From the custom shop at DX Engineering.
That's right.
Yeah,
You're not the only one that has a custom shop, Bob.
that's right. You got it. Well, I hope to hear you guys on the air, if not there, somewhere around. And we're very happy that things are going well, and we're making it happen. That's all we can do, right, Tim?
That's it. It's going to be a great season. The sunspots are coming up, so get on the air and have fun.
That's right. Okay.
I like
Thanks,
ending
Chuck.
on that note. That's for sure. All right.
Yeah.
Well, usually at this point in time we go to Gordo, but Gordo is putting in his duty with the U.S. Coast Guard tonight. So thank you, Gordo, for all your hard work, and we miss you. And I bet you're missing all of us tonight and all of the shenanigans. So, Josh, I think we're going to have a word from Icom.
No, I think we're going to George, right?
Are we going to George? We're
Yeah.
going to George.
Well, George, we're going to catch up with you right now. So thanks to Tim and Bob for
Yes,
showing
thank you,
your,
guys.
your antenna, and we'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. But George, take it away.
Okay, Josh. Well, it has been a busy and a hot year down south so far. I've had a number of projects going on at work. Currently, we're in the middle of replacing an AM transmitter, and in the process, we're going to have to do some antenna work, and I've located the equipment. We don't use just a straight-out antenna analyzer for adjusting those AM broadcast antennas. We use a commercial bridge and synthesizer detector. However, I did not have ones, but I'm borrowing one from a friend. I did take my Rig Expert antenna analyzer out and did some measurements with it of the AM antenna right at the base of the tower and at the input to the T network that matches it as well. And when I get this bridge in and compare the two, then I'm going to know how close that Rig Expert I believe it's a 230 zoom that I have. We'll see how close it came to being right on the money with a very expensive piece of test equipment. So yeah, a number of things going on at work. Plus, I'm doing IT work there as well now at the studios. So number of computer replacements and such going on there. So it's been kind of a lot going on. But I did want to mention a couple of things that I have done. I'm still doing Amateur Logic every month, and you can catch those amateurlogic.tv and find out what's been going on. In our most recent one, we had some good segments in there, but the one thing that kind of stuck out to me is our friend Mike, VE3MIC, which I'm sure some of you know, did a short segment. You know, a lot of us use Pi-Star with our hotspots, and he found a mod where you can add the M17 digital mode to Pi-Star hotspot. Now, we haven't figured out exactly what to do with that yet, since we don't have any handy talkies or anything that operate the M17 mode, but when they do, we've got a solution for a hotspot now. Field day this year, we actually got out and did field day sort of out in the field again. Actually, this year we went to a transmitter site, one that you've seen here before on Ham Nation. I did several segments from, but we, instead of operating from a tent in the 100-degree weather, we found it much more comfortable to operate from an air-conditioned transmitter building. That's a standby site for one of my friends. It's at the same location as one of my transmitter sites, but mine's got the transmitter running in it, and it's too noisy to do a field day from there. So I'm glad we were able to arrange to borrow the building right next door and operate out of there. We had a good time. Tommy and I both did, and well, we tried some things that we have done before. We tried some things that we really hadn't done before. This is just some photos from our field day episode, and you can see Tommy and I erecting a cobweb antenna. We've used that on several field days now. They've always worked out well. Picture on the left, well, that's a W5SLA field day site down in Slidell, Louisiana, that email operated from. And then Mike used a new LifePo 4 battery and demonstrated that. And actually, Tommy and I ran all battery power on field day this year. I borrowed a LifePo battery that he had built and put the battery management system and everything in. We barely made a dent in it. I mean, it was hardly discharged at all at the end of field day. So Gordo was onto something with those batteries. Let's see, what else has been going on? Well, I went to Hamvention. I saw Josh there. I missed Bob. Bob and I had planned to catch up with each other, but we just never did. And there are several people there I wanted to meet with, and we just never crossed paths. You know, it's kind of that way when you go to some of these really large Hamfest. I'm thinking I'm going to see everybody I want to in Huntsville this year, because we're all in one building there, and it's a nice setup. So I'm really looking forward to Huntsville coming up this weekend. I'll be there. I believe Tommy is still planning on being there. My friend Wayne, Chip, K9MIT, you remember the guy with the chipstick? He's going to be there. And several more people. Josh, we'll see you there. Mm-hmm. Don, well, what can I say? When Don and I get together at Huntsville, you never know.
Mayhem ensues.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to that. A couple of other things I have done recently. I did a segment on, I needed some Type-N connectors. And why did I need them? Sitting right down here on the floor, about to be installed, I've got a new Icom D-Star Generation 3 repeater. It's the IDRP 4010V. Tommy and I are going to put that on the air here. I had a transmitter site very near my house. So looking forward to getting that on the air. We've got it all configured now. We've got the duplexers tuned. Everything's ready. I just got to take it down the road about 3 miles and install it. So when I get back from Huntsville, plan on doing that. But I had to make some jumpers for the duplexers. And I came up with these right here. This is a RG214 double shielded cable that I bought from DX Engineering. Very high quality cable. It's got the silver plated shield in here. Just great stuff. But type in connectors, I always hate putting on type in connectors. And I had not seen these before. Apparently they've been around a while. This is a DX Engineering type in connector here. I don't remember the number right off because I don't have one in front of me that's disassembled, but essentially this part right here, you solder on just like you would a PL259. It's got the 4 holes under there that you solder the shield to. And then the outer part here, you screw on that whole piece right here. And so you cannot get the center pin too long or too short. It ends up being just right. So good connectors there. I believe I don't remember the part number. Tim may know it.
Tim, you still with us?
Probably find those in the catalog and on the website.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a DXE 1001S, I believe. Something like that. But just look up type in connectors on DX Engineering. You'll find these. They're much simpler to put on. So I was very happy to find those. And we got the repeater ready to go. Some other things I did within the last year. Well, this was one of my favorites, and I haven't played with it lately. I like microcontrollers, the Arduinos, all different types of microcontrollers because they're just small computers that you can program fairly easily and do all types of complex tasks, and you can hook external equipment into it and control it. With TTL, you can read logic level signals back. You can communicate serially with it. Wow, just so many different options. You can measure analog voltages. So many projects you can build with these, and I've done them before. And we actually saw some on Smoke and Solder back in the day. This right here, though, is this is an ESP32 VGA. An ESP32 is just a little small microcontroller that has the advantage that it's got Wi-Fi built in it as well. And it's faster than a regular Arduino, and they're really cheap. You can find them for not much money at all. This one, the VGA model, has had some things added. Some of the I/O pins on it, they've taken and put a audio output jack on it. They put a PS2 mouse and keyboard connector on it. They've put a micro SD card slot and a VGA port. So that's a little computer right there. And you'd say, okay, something this size you hold in the palm of your hand, what could you do with that? Well, all the things I mentioned earlier. But thanks to some creative people out there in the experimenters community, particularly FabGL is what I used on this one. It allows you to run some old school operating systems, and I did that, and you can see them on Amateur Logic. I use this little thing right here to create a VIC-20 computer. And I ran some VIC-20 games and software on it. I wrote some basic programs. I never had a VIC-20. I had a Commodore 64,
I had a 20.
So, yep, it was fun to
Yeah, it was.
to remember all of that. But that's not all you could do with this. You could run some other operating systems too. CPM, has anybody ever heard of CPM?
Yeah.
You can run CPM on here, and I did that. You can run GEM desktop, GEM, GEM.
I vaguely remember that.
I think Atari ran that.
Yeah.
I never ran it, but it worked on here. You can run MS-DOS. And a bunch of other operating systems, but GEOS. I don't know if anybody will remember
GEOS. I remember GEOS. Yep.
Yep. You can run GEOS on here. And I did that. And would you think you could run Windows on something this size?
I don't know that you'd
Sure.
want to.
You could, but yeah, exactly. Would you want to?
You can run Windows 3.0 on this,
Oh, wow.
That's
and it
amazing.
actually works.
That's
So ESP32 VGA, check that out. You know, if you're experimenting like some of those old operating systems and want to trip down memory lane, this is
Yeah.
a really cheap way to do it. I think it was, I don't know, maybe around $20 or so.
And with those legacy ports on there, you can plug all your old peripherals in.
Exactly. And you're going to need those old peripherals
Yes,
too,
you will.
because it won't work with anything
No.
else.
That's wild.
So that's what I've been up to, you know, a few things anyway.
All right. Thank you, George.
Fantastic, George. Real quick, you certainly started a storm on chat about end connectors or TL259. So watch out, everyone. Who's we're gonna have to put a poll out there and let everyone else decide.
I found the connector, by the way.
Oh, there you
so
go.
That's
it is
it.
the DXE 1001-S-4. $32 about for a set of 4. Those do look pretty nice, so that's pretty cool.
They do.
I got a message from the production booth that I need to go back to Bob for a quick message. Bob, are you ready?
I am. I wanted to tell you, I'm not much of a book reader. I don't have time. I do too many things. But I got to tell you about a book that's incredible. It's on Amazon now. It's about Wes Shum. It's called Amateur Radio's Unsung Hero. He's the guy that in 1948 brought single sideband to amateur radio. If you had a trivia contest, you'd probably say Art Collins. Art was 6 years late to the party and bought one of Wes's first Central Electronics 10A, and he couldn't get it together, or he did, but it didn't work right, and he had to call Wes. This is a true story. Wes Shum told me personally the last time we were together, and he was pretty proud of that. But anyway, Nick Tusa, he's an incredible guy. Nick Tusa wrote this, and it's just chock full of great history. And you want to buy this? Amazon has it. It's called Amateur Radio's Unsung Hero, and it's something that you'll go back and read a couple of times because there's a whole lot packed in there. And I wanted to share that with everybody. So George, seems like you're busy, and that's good. Keeps us out of the tavern.
Well, you know, we can't sit around and do nothing, Bob. We gotta have our hands busy doing something and trying things.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Josh, Amanda, everybody.
Of
Greetings
course.
to all.
What else did I have for you, George? Let me see. Yeah, but you didn't mention your sound check net. So you did bring up you're playing with M17, and that's been a new one. And Hams over phone, Hams over voice, the newest one. Anyhow, you guys get to play with it all on your net every Tuesday.
Yeah, hams over IP, and Amanda has been in net control for us for a long time there, and Jeff.
Yep.
Her significant other.
It's really fun too.
Oh yeah, and every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, we have the Amateur Logic Sound Check net. You can check in with Echolink, D-Star. Oh, I won't remember them all. DMR, System Fusion, M17, Ham Shack Hotline, Hams over IP, which is a competing service too.
And All-Star and FM. So he'll
All-Star
take it
and FM as
analog
well.
too.
And we've even got the fun machines out of Colorado linked in there every Tuesday night as well. So there's a good crowd from there. People actually from all over the world jump in there and try the different modes. And we generally have a question each week, so something everybody can talk about. And the last one, I don't even remember what it was right now. What mobile radio do you use? So we talked about that. But it's been a lot of different ones there. And we also do a what the heck is it, where we'll post a photo of something on our Facebook page, on at Amateur Logic, at Twitter, and different social media sites. And we'll ask people to identify what the heck it is. And we've had some very interesting things on there. Some of them people get fairly quick. Some of them nobody ever guesses, but we reveal what that image is and talk a little bit about it each week. So, yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Amanda.
Of course. And some of those photos might be Photoshopped just to mess you up a little bit. But also P25, someone reminded us on chat. But this is a perfect opportunity to join in because we're really nice net controls. And we're helpful in critiquing what audio sounds the best, and maybe you need to turn up some gains, or a lot of times turn it down. You're blasting our ears out. You're over. Yeah. So it's just a fun time to work out all your stuff. So, all right. Well, George, thanks for joining us and have a fun, fantastic time in Huntsville.
Well, thank you, Amanda. And I wish you and Jeff were going to be here, and Bob and Randy. Hey,
that's too much humidity. Too much humidity.
We'll be seeing Don.
Yeah.
We'll see
can't
Don and Josh, and we'll see Mark there as well.
Yes.
So, yep. Looking forward.
George, we have to have you do something very special for us, very nostalgic. Do you mind throwing it to Icom?
We'll be back with more Ham Nation in just a moment, but first, let's get a message from Icom.
Perfect.
Keep your competitive contesting edge with Icom.
Hi, everybody.
Icom's high-powered base stations cut through pileups, letting you work the bands and record those contacts. Contest from the comfort of your home or remotely with the RSBA One app. Heard it, worked it, logged it. The IC7300 is a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This innovative HF transceiver digitizes RF before various receiver stages, reducing inherent noise in different IF stages. The IC7300 changed the way entry-level HF is designed. RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. The real HF fun starts here. Create your own band opening with the IC9700. This transceiver brings direct sampling to the UHF-VHF weak signal world. This all-mode transceiver is loaded with innovative features that are sure to keep you busy. Faster processors, higher input gain, higher display resolution, and a cleaner signal. 4.3-inch color touchscreen TFT LCD, real-time high-speed spectrum scope, and waterfall display. Smooth satellite operation with 99 satellite channels, dual watch operation, and full duplex operation in satellite mode. Icom's IC7610 is the SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR can pick out faint signals in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. The Icom 7610 is a direct sampling, software-defined radio that has changed the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. RF direct sampling system, 110 RMDR, independent dual receiver, dual digicell. Icom's IC7851 gives you a new window into the RF world and is HF excellence unparalleled. With faster processors, higher input gain, higher display resolution, and a cleaner signal, it's truly the pinnacle of HF perfection. Dual receivers, digital IF filters, memory keyer, digital voice recorder, high-resolution Spectrum waterfall display, enhanced PC connectivity, and SD memory card slot. Learn more about all these great Icom radios at icomamerica.com/amateur.
Thank you very much to Icom for sponsoring Ham Nation here. Really do appreciate it. Every time we go live, which is every 2 weeks, they pick some winners to win a swag pack. They pick 3 every time we go live, and this episode's winners are Kevin D, KN4UXD, Michael K, N5RDV, and Dave C, KC0DRC. All of you just got entered into the month-end giveaway for the ID5100, which is a great mobile radio. And everyone else that has won this year a swag prize, you've been entered in to win that at the end of the month. How to enter? Real simple. Click that little Enter Now button. The website, it's live right now if you go to icomamerica.com/Ham Nation, and the link is in the description for this video. That's the fastest way to find it. And again, big thank you to Icom. So we're moving on. Going to say hi to Don now, and he's cooking up some shenanigans, I hear. So Don, what's going on? We got a big weekend, don't we?
Moi? Shenanigans? No, absolutely not. By the way, my ID 5100 is sitting right there. Great radio. You're going to love whoever wins that thing. You're going to absolutely love it. You may have picked up. We've been pretty shy and pretty demure. We've mentioned it maybe once or twice that there's something going on this weekend. It's the Huntsville Hamfest, and we're kind of happy about that. And we've got let's just go straight to the man with the plan. That's Mark Brown in for BCD. He is the chairman of this fabulous soiree that I've been going to since 1995. There you are. Tell us what's going on. Give us the lowdown and get us all primed and pumped for the weekend.
Well, Don, it's going to be a party like it was 2019. We had a great year in 2019, of course, and then the COVID thing. But then we came back last year. It was you weren't there, but we had the Hamfest last year. It was a good event. We're expecting a great event this year. We printed the badges just a couple of days ago, and so I've got a count. We've got like 13 YouTubers coming.
Yeah, I know.
16 people from ARRL. I just saw in the chat window that somebody worked David Minster on FT8. I'm jealous. I'm jealous because I've been too busy. When we get within like a week of the Hamfest, it becomes whack-a-mole time.
Yeah.
We get emails from folks asking if they can bring their service kangaroo. You name it. It's just, I won't go any further, but we're getting all kinds of last minute questions and requests. But I do want to mention tonight, we've got the 400 plus flea market tables. And with that many tables, there's always a couple that have to pull out or change their plans at the last minute. So if you're looking for a table, contact Jim, November 4 Kilo Hotel. Look him up on QRZ or look him up on our Hamfest website. We do have a few tables available, and so that if you want to come, I think we got some space. I heard a rumor of a new radio announcement. It's just a rumor. I have no idea if it's
really
or not. I don't know. So we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see when we get there this weekend. But everything's going great. I'm excited. We're just gonna have a great show.
If that rumor is true about a new radio announcement, will that be a first for the Huntsville Hamfest?
Yes, it will.
I thought so
like
because
I said,
I only see that in Dayton.
It's a rumor.
That's why I said if it happens, yeah. Well, God, fingers crossed, man. I hope so.
Absolutely. But yeah, we're excited to host the world's friendliest Hamfest. It's all indoors, all air conditioned. You guys that have been there before, it's just a great venue. And Amanda, yes, it's humid out in Alabama in August, but
not
indoors.
Inside.
You could stay at the Connected Hotel. You never have to go outside.
Please tell me there's a beer garden, and next year I'm there.
They've remodeled the bar.
Okay, I'm there.
They've remodeled the bar. I can't wait to break that thing in. Yeah.
But we still have a lot to do. We start moving on Friday morning. It's going to be a busy Friday, but Saturday, 9:00, we open the doors to the world's friendliest, and we want everybody to come down to the Huntsville Hamfest.
I'm really just for the viewers. Let me just define what the world's friendliest Hamfest is all about. On your move-in day, it's great because the hall is so large that people can actually drive their vehicles in and unload, and you have people there ready to help them unload and help them set up and everything else. And Ted Randall from the radio station, the
QSO
shortwave
radio.
station, from QSO, he tells a story that one of the first times he pulled in there, he was like, he was shocked. It's like all of a sudden people are just like swarming him saying, how can we help you? Let me grab this for you. And that's just the beginning of the world's friendliest Hamfest. When you're there, you see people wearing those green shirts. Is that the color this year, or is it going to be the traditional green?
We wear blue on Saturday and green on Sunday.
There you go. Well, you look for people with those shirts on right there, and they will do anything they possibly can to show you where you need to go, give you the right information that you need, and help you get there. And they will bend over backwards to make sure that you have the absolute best time anywhere. Huntsville is my favorite Hamfest. I've missed 3, I think, since 1995. And when I do miss them, it's like I sit here over the weekend and I get the shakes. It's like I really do. I enjoy it so much. And there's been some remodeling going on over at the host hotel, the Embassy. Tell us about that.
Yes, they remodeled the breakfast area. They've been working on it for about the past 9 months. And on August 1st of this year, just a short 2 weeks ago or so, well, not even 2 weeks, they received the bar and restaurant furniture for the new restaurant and the relayed out bar. They're going to have an indoor-outdoor area for the bar.
That'll be
nice.
And
it's projected to open tomorrow night. So fingers crossed that opening bell goes okay. And so the bar and restaurant will be open through our Hamfest weekend. And truly, Amanda, you don't have to leave. You don't have to go outside.
No. You get your hair.
This is what happens when it gets humid. I get this curly hair.
Oh.
You get your hair did one time. You go into the hotel. You never have to leave until Sunday when you go home.
So, Mark, right. I'm not gonna leave you off of this questionnaire because you might be biased, but I'm gonna ask George and Don this. What's your favorite part about Huntsville? The whole thing. Go ahead, Don.
Okay, well, my favorite part, what brought me to the Huntsville Hamfest, is the Young Ham of the Year Award. We have done that. That has been our home since 1993, and the torch has been passed to me to be the MC and presenter of that, and that goes on at 2:00 local time on Saturday afternoon. So that is, for me, the highlight. And I wanted to dovetail off that and get Mark to mention the youth lounge and all the youth activities, because Huntsville has a huge youth presence.
That's right, Don. Dr. Monty Bateman, who does several forums, he's a NASA physicist, and he and his wife for 13 years now have been doing the youth lounge, and each year it grows bigger and better, from soldering to fox hunts to robotics. I mean, there's just there's 2 tracks throughout the room and throughout the day that kids can avail themselves to learning about technology and ham radio. So it's a great thing.
Yeah. Fantastic. George, what's your favorite part about Huntsville?
Well, probably meeting everyone there. A lot of friends will be there. It is the friendliest Hamfest in the world, as it's been promoted for years, and that is true. But as far as actually what's inside the Hamfest there besides the people, I like the boneyard. I like the
boneyard
tables.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the old gear. There's a huge. Most of the Von Braun Center is swap tables. Where everybody brings their gear in and sets it up and sells it, and projects that they've abandoned or parts that they bought somewhere to do something with and never did. And you will see some stuff there that you won't even see in Dayton.
That's true.
Wow.
I guess with Nass being in the area and, all the military stuff, there's a lot of bizarre looking test equipment and things that you just don't see anywhere else.
That's exactly right.
I have bought a triplet meter from there for a little bit of nothing, a fluke for a little bit of nothing. I bought a bridge there one year, I believe, and just all kinds of stuff that us who like to dig through the old junk.
Well, you'll have lots of what the heck is it pictures then after this weekend. Josh, what about you? besides like 13 YouTubers hanging out together, Josh, any other favorite things?
Yeah, there I am. I gotta say, every show has a particular feel to it, and the feel that I like at Huntsville is I wake up, I walk downstairs, I get breakfast, I then walk to the show, and that's it. I'm right there.
Yeah.
It's all inclusive. Like it's a little bubble that I'm in.
Right over the Sky Bridge, you're there.
You're in AC the whole time. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely the friendliest show because it's just super chill. Everybody gets to hang out. I talk to a ton of people.
Right.
I also really like that, and I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly. I was told I pronounce all these names incorrectly, but is it the Montesano? That's a POTA. It's a state park. It's just outside of the show, and pretty much all the YouTubers rent the campsites and the cabins and all that stuff, and they do POTA all day on Friday, and that's what we're going to be doing. So I'll be there Friday. Everybody come out. We'll be at the Trailhead Pavilion. There's going to be a bunch of new radios set up. I'm told there'll be a Buddy Hex set up, so if you want to actually see that in action, it'll super fun. It's a great way to get hands-on time with radios, and then we're all out there just hanging out too, and all the after-hour stuff is a lot of fun too.
Follow the cigar smoke.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's plenty of full coolers out there as well, so you guys will have a fun time.
There may be some, there might be a few.
Rumor has it.
Gosh, I had another question and I forgot. Yeah, Mark. So obviously the biggest thing about this is the Young Ham of the Year award, I think, anyways, and Donna Doherty brought that up. But what else is going on? We got lots of fantastic seminars. Right?
The forums, yes. Like I mentioned, Dr. Bateman doing programs on grounding. Ward Silver's coming. He'll be doing a forum, and he's the keynote speaker for the North Alabama DX Club's banquet on Saturday night. So probably a little more in depth. And oh my gosh, it's just like I mentioned earlier, the adult solder class forums, the YouTubers. They're going to take 2 hours for a roundtable to just talk with each other and to engage with audience questions. So that'll be a great back and forth. 2 hours on Sunday morning.
2 hours.
Yep.
There's DX card checking, of course, for folks that are chasing DXCC. A lot of stuff, and it's like folks say, there's everyone comes to a Hamfest with different goals in mind. Like George, I think, said, it's a lot about the people. I'm going to be able to see folks I haven't seen in months. Jack Gerbs and Ron Kramer, past chairman from Dayton, they're coming.
Yeah.
The Orlando guys, they're working full-time jobs. Unfortunately, some of their crew are coming, but Mike and John sadly will not be able to make the trip this year. But like I say, it's about the people. You run into folks that you haven't seen in months or years, and it's just a wonderful experience to be able to do that. The Boneyard, George mentioned that there's a collection of stuff here, and if you walk out into these flea market areas, the tone of what you see in Dayton is different from the tone of what you see in Orlando and what you see in Huntsville. There's test equipment that came out of Marshall Space Flight Center that's obsolete, but is worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Well, you can find it here. So come on down and
if it was built on a government contract, it's probably worth tens of thousands of dollars is what it was originally
probably
spent
so,
on it.
Don.
Yeah.
Probably
it could be.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's probably plenty around for the spouses to do. And also I want to mention one of those talkers is one of our own hosts here, Joe Eisenberg, K0NEB. He's going to be down there doing his kit building.
Yep.
Fabulous 1 hour talk, and that's why he's not here tonight, because he already probably traveled down that way. So you guys,
I think he's arriving tomorrow.
You have time, everybody. You have time.
Right.
Quit your jobs today. Get in the car.
Retire early and go to Huntsville. And not only that,
Come
but
on
it
down
being a
early.
NASA
Help me whack a few more moles.
Exactly. It being a NASA town, you've got Space Camp there, world famous Space Camp. You've got the Marshall Space Flight Center. You've got a full stack Saturn V, like Apollo 11 that went to the moon, a full stack laying on its side that you can walk all around, and just a full museum at the Space Flight Center, and just incredible. Just absolutely, it's a
you can
great
walk
town.
to the art museum from the Hamfest.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
exactly right.
I saw Leia in chat too. Josh, is she coming with the kiddos? And you guys gonna have a great time?
I told her that if we're going, Huntsville's the right one to do it, but no.
Yeah.
The part of the problem too is our kids go back to school next week.
Oh
School's
no!
already starting. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's a
school
lot.
has started here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot we've got to deal with, but it's
Huntsville.
on the list. It's on the list.
Okay.
Huntsville was Tyler's first Hamfest. He was 8 months old.
Oh, nice.
That's
So he's
so
been
cute.
he's been going all his life. He's not going to make it this year, unfortunately. He's working, but and he was pretty bummed about that. So that's what I told him too. Quit your job. You can find another one. There's you can almost write your own ticket in IT. Just quit it and find another one.
Oh,
Come
now,
on.
yeah, now you can for sure.
That's true.
Sure.
There's a lot of help wanted signs out there. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much, everyone that's
Thank
going
you,
to
Mark.
Huntsville.
Hey, thanks,
Enjoy
guys.
it.
We'll see
Forward
most of
to
you this
seeing you
weekend.
again. Yeah, we'll see you. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you, man.
73.
7-3. Yeah, home of the Huntsville, the home of the Young Ham of the Year Award since 1993, and we wouldn't dream of having it anywhere else. So, yeah, Huntsville, highly recommended. We hope to see you there coming up this weekend. Amanda, what else is going on in your world?
Well, honey, it's time for amateur radio news.
Oh, that's right, it is. Let's do that.
We broke it up a
See,
little
I'm
bit
so
today. It's a little,
excited.
we're all
I'm
excited.
so I'm a little wound up.
He's ready to go.
I really am. I could leave now. We're going to talk to Randy, and we're going to have the OshKosh recap. But first, let's go ahead and get the news of the week and the solar update from Amateur Radio Newsline and Dr. T. And let's do that now. From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2337, this is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Our top story this week was supposed to be a success story for India's new satellite launch vehicle, which had on board a small ham radio satellite built by school children. Unfortunately, something went wrong in its deployment.
Failure and disappointment marked the debut of India's small satellite launch vehicle, which lifted off Saturday, August 6, only to deploy 2 satellites into the wrong orbits. One of the satellites was a much-anticipated project built by 750 schoolgirls in India as part of Space Kids India. It carried an amateur radio payload. The Indian Space Agency said that the satellites were sent into an elliptical orbit instead of the intended circular orbit, 356 kilometres or 221 miles above Earth. The elliptical orbit meant that at some point the satellite's orbits would come as close to Earth as 76 kilometres or 47 miles. Officials from the ISRO said the error was caused by a sensor failure that could not be detected in time. 5 hours after liftoff, the mission was declared a failure. The maiden voyage of the launcher was a much celebrated event which also commemorated India's 75th year of independence. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Hams in one Pennsylvania club are celebrating a relationship with the Mars rover that began 10 years ago.
The Holmesburg Amateur Radio Club in Philadelphia decided to send its club call, WM3PEN, on a long vacation that would take 255 days to get there. They teamed up with NASA's Mars Science Laboratory rover Curiosity to visit Bradbury Landing on Mars. Since the landing, Curiosity and WM3PEN have traveled nearly 18 miles searching for the perfect location for the expedition. The folks at WM3PEN also thought it would be a good trip to team up with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, since they decided to make it a CW event. To help measure size and distance, the JPL engineers carved out the dots and dashes of the letters JPL on the tire treads. When asked what's next for the WM3 team, call sign trustee Bob Josewait, WA3PZO, said that after just coming off field day in the 13 Colony special event in June and July, it will be time to relax before planning the next adventure. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
There are 2 top winners sharing the glory in the first Ham Challenge competition of Region 1 of the International Amateur Radio Union.
The contest, which was introduced for the first time on April 30th, asked participants to propose game-changing ideas that would help grow the international amateur radio community. Nestor 5B4AHZ and Christian HP9FEU were chosen as first-place winners. Nestor's winning project was Ham Radio Escape Room, a virtual escape room inspired by the pandemic. Teams use radio instead of webcams to communicate. Christian's project was a public database of fun projects for innovation and technically orientated hobbyists. Many of the activities accommodated those with very little experience or available equipment. The third place winner was Luca, IU2FRL, and the youth prize went to Guy, ZS6GUY. Ham Challenge will return in 2023. This is Ed Durant, DD5LP.
And a final invitation to join Newsline on Saturday, August 20th in Alabama at the Huntsville Hamfest as we celebrate Audrey McElroy, KM4BUN, and present her with the 2022 Bill Pasternak Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award. If you can't be there in person, you can stream the entire Hamfest as it happens online via Tom Medlin's website, w5kub.com. We certainly hope to see you there. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Graham Kemp, VK4BB, Randy Sly, W4XJ, Ed Durant, DD5LP, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now, here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov, WX4SWW.
Our sun lights up like a Christmas tree this week. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, we only have about 5 active regions in Earth view, but all of them are big flare players, and the X factor comes from region 3078, which has fired more than 8 big flares just since August 15th. You can actually see the sun kind of lighting up like a little paparazzi bulbs flashing everywhere. Now this region down here, it's actually launched solar storms. Pretty much every time you see a big flash, there's a big solar storm that's being launched along with it. And these solar storms are partly Earth directed. So we actually at this point have a huge chain of solar storms that are going to be washing over Earth in waves from about now, because we're actually getting hit by the first one now, through about the 20th as of this moment in time. In fact, when we take a look at coronagraphs, you can actually see all of these solar storms just since about the 14th being launched one after the other, with the largest one being on the 17th. This one is also Earth directed, and early predictions say it's going to hit Earth right around midday on the 20th. So aurora photographers expect to get a big show easily over the next few days, just on and on and on as these storms continue to wash over us. Now, as we take a look at our far-sighted sun, this is stereo A and it's looking at the sun just a little bit from the side. You can see region 3078 just lighting up down there in the southwest from stereo's view. And luckily, as we look beyond it, you see the other regions are reasonably quiet. So thank goodness, after this big X player rotates off of Earth view in about 4 days or 5 days from now, things should quiet down, and that means amateur radio operators and anyone doing radio traffic for space comms, all of that should finally quiet down. I would not be surprised if some launches got delayed just simply because of the radio bursts and all that noise in the radio frequencies that happen with these big flare players. So just hang on and things will get better, I promise. For more details on this week's space weather, including how that big X flare player might affect you, come check out my channel or see me at spaceweatherwoman.com.
Thank you, Dr. T. You may have noticed I blew her call. It's not WX4, it's WX6SWW. Can you tell I'm ready to be in Foreland at the Huntsville Hamfest? Thank you, Dr. T, and everybody else with the Newsline staff, and they just continue to do a great job. I'm amazed and in awe of the Newsline crew, and so happy to be part of that. And also, while we're talking about Young Ham of the Year briefly in the Huntsville Hamfest, I need to thank our Newsline sponsors, our corporate partners. That would be Yaesu USA, CQ Communication, Heil Sound, of course, and Radio Waves Antennas. We couldn't do it without their assistance, and we really appreciate them. And Randy, unfortunately, you're not going to be there this weekend, and that's sad, because it would be great to hang out with you again. You're a very interesting man, and I learn something every time you open your mouth.
Well, I should open my mouth now, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
I
on.
was going there, but I've been gone for like 4 weeks and just got home on Saturday. So,
yeah, OshKosh, that's a bucket list thing for me, being an old plane guy. So, yeah.
Been to OshKosh. So, I have a bunch of stills here. We don't have Gordo with his shorts tonight, but I got a few shorts and a little video we're running. We'll talk about some more of these things here. So, Josh, go ahead with picture number 1. Okay, so I packed up my camp trailer and I headed east. I was going to OshKosh, and I did a combination of Harvest Host and normal campsites. So Harvest Host is an organization you can join, which I learned about while I was at Quartz Fest this last January. And you can stay at these wineries, breweries, museums, and different places, basically for free. But they would like you maybe to buy a bottle of wine or have dinner, which is fine. But it's dry camping, so you're just boondocking, you're living off your tanks, your battery, and when it's really hot out, it can be a little uncomfortable until the sun goes down. So this is at the Red Trail Vineyard in Buffalo, North Dakota. The first vineyard in North Dakota to grow grapes, I guess. So it was pretty interesting. Go on to the next, please. So here I am parked, and a big storm came in. I think I parked, came in, and watched the rain come down. And then a couple more people showed up, and about 5 o'clock, we all went into the front room there and tasted some wines and chatted about our travels and stuff. So that was kind of nice. Next. So here I am in some campground now. I forget where. I probably spent at least 12 nights on the road. So this night I was in a campground, which meant I had AC power, which means the air conditioner is working. And you can see I have my mask up on the rear of the trailer there. So I just have a 25-foot wire that is connected to an Icom AH704 antenna tuner. So next. So on my last stop to OshKosh, I thought maybe I better stop somewhere and do my laundry, because I didn't have 4 weeks of clothes with me. There is a huge laundromat right outside the gates at OshKosh, but it is really, really busy. So I found this one here. I forget now where I was, about 200 miles out. Next. And I was there first thing in the morning. There was one other fellow in there. It was probably the cleanest, nicest looking laundromat. I think only one of the machines in the whole place was broke. So I got everything cleaned, and then I was good for my stay at OshKosh for the air show. Next. So here I am parked in with our gang. So we have this is a group that's been going 40 years. In fact, I think I was the instigator of the group originally going there. And you can see my truck and trailer. Behind me is Barry's RV, K7GVB. He's also one of our Quartz Fest gang. And so there's a bunch of, basically our kind of group is a lot of broadcasters. Work for Grass Valley Group, people from CBS and things like that. So we get these spaces. We have to pay for them for a month. And one of the local guys, you can go on to the next, comes out ahead of time and stakes them out with ribbons and stuff. So that's where we park. It's just in a grass field. Me and, I don't know, tens of thousands of other campers are out there for the month. The air show runs for a week here. So next. So there's another view. One of the guys has this utility trailer with a bunch of camp equipment. So they set up this one canopy right there in the dead center, which will become the camp kitchen with a grill and a griddle and a hot water heater and ice chests and all sorts of things. And the group does group breakfasts and dinner every night. Then there's the other canopy over on the left with a bunch of tables and plug strips running down the middle, so people can set up their laptops and maybe keep dry when the oh my God, we're going to die storms comes through. Next. So here's Chuck. He was there for a few days. I used to work with Chuck. He's making some pancakes and he's got bacon there for everybody in the morning. Next. That's not right. We're all back to the beginning.
Do we have a break in the matrix here? Let me see what I got, Randy. Let's go.
You can't break the pancakes. Pancakes are important.
If the syrup isn't on the table before the pancakes, it'll be too late.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Syrup's down on the right there.
Let me see what happened, but I think I have all your pictures.
Yeah, well, there should be, I don't know, about 20 or so.
The fun of live television.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do this a different way. You keep talking while I
keep
fix
talking.
this.
Well, the next shot, which I was going to show you, after Chuck doing the pancakes, was Chuck doing the ribs that very same night. So he had, I think, 7 racks of ribs and a chicken he put in the smoker.
Oh, wow.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
So it's
So there it is.
tilted a little bit, but I think we're back in the money here.
Yeah.
Vertical versus horizontal pictures.
Yeah. I made them all straight, but who knows what happens with Windows. So continue on. What we got next?
That looks like a smoke. Oh, do you see it?
No, we saw Randy.
Hold on. Yeah, sorry. There you go.
All right. So another night, I'm sorry these are not right side up, but another fellow showed up with his homemade smoker. He's got 2 wood stoves. He has stacked on top of each other. So he builds a fire in the bottom one and puts the meat in the top. Let's try the next.
Nope. We're losing it.
And there's Amanda.
And there's Amanda. How you doing?
All right. Well, anyway, this is the radio set up in the trailer. So I have an IC 7100 and a couple of HDs and my laptop there. Probably getting ready to do some FT8. Let's see if the next one's in logical order. Yeah. So before I left for the trip, I made this shelf which goes between the 2 bench seats. So normally you can drop the dinette table down to make a bed. So I took a hunk of plywood. I have the radio on there at an angle and tilted up so I can get to the connectors. And I have a Alinco AC switching power supply for the places where I have power to run the radio. Next. And sideways, sorry. And if I don't have power to run the power supply, I have a 30 amp hour Bioenno lithium iron phosphate battery inside that PowerWorks case. That is a great combination because it has USB, power pole, cigarette lighter, binding post. I added another dual socket so it has more of a high capacity USB as well as a USB-C. So I could charge my watch and stuff. So I got my DMR and a cell modem there sitting there to play around with. Next. There I am running FT8. I have my Bearcat scanner, which I've loaded up all the OshKosh frequencies. It's really interesting hearing them. They can bring the planes in. I posted several little videos of the show, and one is just the phone in front of the radio there, and you can listen to the tower bringing the planes in. They're basically landing planes 3 and 4 at a time.
Those ATC guys at OshKosh are incredible.
They're the best.
I've listened to that on AvWeb and some of the other sites, and oh my God.
Yeah, I posted a video 3 years ago, which I was actually set up by the runway with the camera with the scanner feeding the audio, so you can see them going over the green dot and orange dots. The light reflects up from the ground and lights up the bottom side of their wings. It's pretty interesting. Next. And one night the Skyrider guys were up, and he made a smiley face right over my antenna, which I thought was kind of nice. So. Sorry, it's sideways. Next. Power. Sideways here. Here's Chuck and Barry. They're the gang brings a 7 kW generator, and it kind of runs most of the day. And extension cords go to all the trailers and plug strips so people can keep charged up. Let their refrigerators run off of AC in their trailers and stuff. So that's the OshKosh power plant. Next. Yeah, here we're back to the ribs that Chuck's working on. They were just fabulous. Next.
No, it looks like we got a problem with the.
Yeah. That's weird.
I don't
Here's
usually have
Chris.
problems with Gordo's images, so I don't know
Yeah.
what's
and
going on here.
I do have to say that looks like it was a meat fest. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Vegans, we're sorry if you're offended.
So I don't know if there's any more in there or
There
not.
are, and I think I can get some more. Hold on. We're doing this a bit. We're doing this a bit haphazardly than I would normally.
Yeah.
But I mean, the chat in the chat room is definitely about elderberry syrup. So I don't know what kind of syrup you used, Randy, but
That sounds good.
I
Oh,
think
they had
I hope that
several
you
there.
had some.
Yeah.
What's
So
that?
here's Ray handing up one of the elements for the hex beam to Scott up on the roof of the of Ray's motorhome. Scott spent 4 hours up there, I think, building this hex beam.
Wow.
Trying not to get tangled up in wires and trip on things on the roof of the RV. Next,
Fall off.
and fall off. He's going, how long am I going to be up here?
So you're done. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. He's just starting there. Next. Here I am sitting there operating. So Ray brought out the big guns, the 78 51. We use HRD to do the logging. I ran some FT8 from here. I also ran some FT8 from my trailer as part of the W9 and W Warbird Special Event Station. Next. So after OshKosh, I packed up the trailer and I headed to Rochester, New York to see some family. And just outside of Rochester is the Antique Wireless Association Museum. I visited that 3 years ago when I did this trip, so I have a video on my YouTube site that takes you all through there. But what's neat here is that in the next photo, if we do have the next photo, yeah, so on the left side of the building is a new construction project. So that's probably about 15, 20 feet wide by about 40 foot long. That's going to be their new ham station, which they're probably going to have 4 or 5 operating positions in there. Everything from, real old vintage 2 kilowatt AM transmitters and all sorts of stuff will be fired up in there. So they had a fund drive going for quite a while, and the construction's along. It's basically framed in. Looks like the electrical's in. I have a video that I go through the museum here and talk about a couple of the new things, including this. Also on the video, there's a little segment which I talked about the 1 BCG transmitter, which was used for the ARL last December to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the first transmission, amateur-wise, across the Atlantic. I believe, I'm not sure if it's this coming fall or a year from now, I forget exactly when, but they have the next transmitter, the 1MO transmitter, that was used in the first two-way amateur contact going across the Atlantic Ocean. And one of the things that's going to be interesting about that transmitter is that they run raw AC on the plates. So it'll have a very distinctive CW note on the 160 meter band when they get that thing fired up. So something to look forward to, and check out my video here, as well as some other things that are newer in the museum compared to when I was there 3 years ago. Next. This was another Harvest host. I stayed at a museum. This is the Prairie Museum in Holdridge, Nebraska. And the guy said I can park over on the concrete on the left, or I could park under a big tree and be in the shade. So I'm out here in the grass. But only had about a half hour to go inside, so I kind of wandered around. Next. And in the back was one little display area of a bunch of old radio. So here is I believe it's a 1949 80 meter 500 to about 900 watts AM transmitter built by kind of hard to read there now.
I apologize. It's my streaming software doesn't seem to like vertical right now for whatever bug it's happening. So everybody watching, feel free to rotate your televisions and monitors. Okay, that's the easiest way to fix this problem.
Yeah,
just lay down on the floor and watch.
Yeah. Next.
Relax.
Yeah, there it is, a close up, and look at those big old tuning knobs for the plate and stuff. So W0AOF was the fellow who probably built this thing, and back in the 40s when before he had TV and YouTube, you worked on projects in the basement, got some rack panels and opened up some old handbooks and built something. So next.
Ooh,
and they had a nice shelf of old tubes here and DeForest. And I don't know if that's an 813 there, but there's all sorts of. It was kind of a nice little setup there with radio stuff. Next.
Oh,
We're back to Ray and Scott.
Hand reloading these right now. That's what we're at right now. I feel like I'm loading paper tape into a machine.
The old carousel slideshow.
And there's the blue one. Yeah, so this is
really clear sky that day.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
Lovely.
I mean,
really
you can't get a better gradient than that.
And no airplanes.
No. Yeah, where's the planes, Ray?
Well, there's a video. You just have to wait.
Goes to the flyover states.
Okay.
I don't think I have any planes. Go to Ray's Facebook page.
Those are the flyover states.
Yeah.
Yes. So this was another campsite I stayed at. It was, I had power. I was in there, the air conditioning. It was about, 95 degrees out. And all of a sudden it went bang, quiet. And I walked around the park. Next slide. And there's the guy who owns the park. They were doing some water line work, and the power cables were above the water pipe. So it just looks like they just laid raw cable in the dirt. So he had the splicing blocks and the power crimper tools and all that stuff to work on this big wire. So
that's not ideal.
Yeah. So in about 45 minutes, the air conditioner was running again. Next. Here I am at the, what is it here? This is the American Winery and Brewery in Wauseon, Ohio. So I think there was 3 of us there that night. Go on to the next. And here's Tom, kind of, I guess, the owner. So he's got all these different beers on tap and wines, and they have a few things for dinner. Next.
That's a neat program you were talking about. The
Harvest Host. Yeah. So here's the
Harvest Host.
Pizza, and had a couple pints of beers. That was really nice sitting up on the deck. There was a nice breeze that night. So
nice.
I don't know if that's the last one here.
No.
Oh, and about 2 days before I got home, I went to Rigby, Idaho, to the Farnsworth TV Museum. Farnsworth was the inventor of electronic television. Next. So they have a display in here. Here's kind of a cabinet full of a bunch of tubes and a big picture of them there. Next. So here's kind of the Farnsworth room. This is shooting
Philo T.
Philo T. Farnsworth. He was really a very brilliant self-trained engineer. He came up with the idea when he was in high school. The story is he came up with the idea of scanning based on the way that he plowed fields. I think his father was a farmer going back and forth. And in high school, he actually, on the chalkboard, drew out the whole system, and he did it in front of his chemistry teacher. And of course, the chemistry teacher had no clue what he was talking about, but the teacher wrote it all down in his notebook and dated it, and that became a very powerful document many years later during a big patent war with RCA.
Fascinating. It's a fascinating story.
So, next. Here's one of the early display tubes. Of course, you build an electronic television, there's nothing exists, basically. So you got to build the display tubes from scratch. You have to invent the camera tubes from scratch, and then all the circuitry that build sawtooth generators and stuff to do sweeping and synchronizing. So it was quite a project, but he actually demonstrated live electronic television, I think 5 years before Sarnoff showed it at the 32 World's Fair. Next.
Yeah, the fascinating story is you got this farm kid going up against the big RCA and beat him. Yeah, exactly.
So I have a video that I shot, and it's all edited. I went to fire up my laptop yesterday morning to upload it, and I kept getting page faults. It wouldn't boot. So I packed it all up and took it to a computer fix-it guy in town. So hopefully he can recover that. I do still have all the original camera material in the camera. So if worst case, I just have to re-edit that. So I have a little video here talking about the W9W special event station. So let's roll that beautiful videotape.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Randy, K7AGE from OshKosh. I thought I would just do these live videos instead of shooting a bunch of stuff and trying to get out and about and edit and get it uploaded. It just takes too much time.
Isn't that true, Randy?
I'm going to be doing more of these types of things. So I'm over at the Warbirds Special Event Station. We have it set up here behind me in Ray's motorhome. So again, this is the Warbird Special Event. And you can see the hex beam up on the top there. Let me switch cameras. Okay. This I think will work a little better. So over here we have the operating table.
Yeah,
yep. Got some nice posters up. And right here we have the 7851.
Oh man!
HRD for logging.
That's a good photo rig.
That's a nice portable
over here
computer.
For 2 meters.
Yeah.
And
field radio.
And D-Star. So I'm live on YouTube. YouTube. So good morning, Ray.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Randy.
Yes. So I thought I would do just live things instead of shooting a bunch of stuff and then try and edit at night. And so I'll do this during the day and things.
You got fans that want to see it on Ham Nation. Too,
yeah. So here we are with a special event.
How'd he know?
And
we're right amongst all the noise too.
Yeah. Yeah. There's airplanes.
There's about
buzzing around. That's the Warbirds
Warbirds
control tower down there at the end.
Hey Randy, if you step back right here and you look down this pathway, just on the other side of that large bomb, that's Fighter Alley.
Fighter Alley, yeah.
That's where they park all the P-51s.
P-51. We'll have to take a wander down there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And around the back side here, I'm not a plane nut guy, so I don't know what all these are, but we're surrounded by them.
They're yellow and they're red.
Yeah.
And they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
So, I think that's it for right now. I'll do more later. Hope this helps. Show you what's going on out here. This is Randy, K7AGE. Later.
Very nice.
Nice, Randy. I happen to be married to a plane nut, and I know that Don is also a plane nut.
Oh, big time.
And Jeff follows Steve-O on YouTube. Yeah. So I see a lot of plane videos. Go ahead. Sorry.
For the entire week, I think we had one rainstorm during the air show time. The rest of the time, it was maybe 80 to 85 and a nice breeze, so it was really comfortable out there. I got some stats from Ray. I'm not sure if this is the final totals, but the special event station, W9W, worked 623 stations. Of those, 321 were HF, so that's probably voice. I know they did almost 100 CW contacts, 121 VHF, so they were working 146.55 people in the area, as well as they were able to get connected through a D-Star repeater and get on a bunch of other reflectors, and 181 FT8. So if you work the W9W station, QSL card information goes to K9 ECF, Echo Charlie Foxtrot, Fox. Getting tired here. So
it was all those sideways pictures, Randy. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. All the blood rushed to the left side of his head.
Yeah. So.
Oh well, thanks, Randy, for sharing. And I think you just we've been selling stuff all night long, and we're not even getting commissions, you guys. But I think now Harvest Host has been sold out.
Yeah, that's
that's
on
the
list
a neat
now.
program.
I know. And now Ray, I'm gonna take a personal moment here to make a comment. You were not left out of this all-star show on purpose. You just are never home. Okay, so just want to let you know.
We'll catch up with him at Huntsville.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah, he's probably headed that away. And goodness, this would be past this would be a hard stop at this time at night. So Randy, anything else? What's next for you?
Just catch up on the chores around the home here, being gone for 4 weeks. A lot of grass to cut. I got some more wood to split, and who knows, trying to get everything unpacked. You know how it is. You just go out for a weekend. 4 weeks.
Go to that laundromat, man. Get your laundry done in one shot. 4 washers, 4 dryers.
Bit of a drive back there, though.
I don't even know what a washing machine costs anymore to pay because I haven't been to one in forever. But
and those are actually like $2, $2.50. They're actually really reasonable there. So
okay, back in 1996, they were 75 cents. So
yeah, and they have credit card readers on the front.
Oh my!
I think
they take Bitcoin.
I think 85 was the last time I used a laundromat.
You know what? I always take sleeping bags there, and all of my gnarly dog blankets. So
yeah, the stuff they had the signs on the wall saying "Do not wash here."
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
The
it's
stuff
been
that's
so late,
prohibited,
Josh.
that's
I don't know when you're leaving for Huntsville, but you're probably
I've got to
stop
tear
here.
down some of my gear because I got to put it in a backpack because I'm flying out tomorrow at 2 p.m. So I'm not
That's
going to
right.
make it into Huntsville until really, really late. So I'll see everybody on Friday. Speaking of that, Trailhead Pavilion at Montesano, where Friday is going to be all day podaing. So join us out there. All the YouTubers will be there. And then after the show Saturday, going back to Montesano, and we're going to be at another pavilion. This is the YACC Pavilion, and we'll be there into the evening. So please join us.
Nice.
I'll be getting some pizzas and some adult beverages. If you want non-adult beverages, bring your own. So let's just say that.
It's Montesano 51 weeks out of the year. The one weekend when the YouTubers are there, it's Mondo Insano.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Everything's booked. I heard that one cabin is available right now. If somebody wants it, it became available.
Wow.
So if you need a cabin, you have to get it right now if it's not already gone.
Well, Dawn and I are going to swing by there on Friday to see you guys. So
very good.
That's nice. Other things going on. Sorry if you hear chicks tweeting in the background. We just got 4 new baby chicks. So
Ooh,
we're gonna go.
when's dinner?
Yeah.
When's dinner?
That's not fun. We're introducing her to a broody hen. So anyhow, sorry about that, you guys. We had to keep her in the warmest spot in the house.
I've got a cast iron skillet. I bet she'd love.
I bring them to OshKosh. Yeah.
Dear goodness, Dawn, I love you, but okay. So let's wrap it up. We got to go. Nats, if they are not already done, we got D-Star on 14, Charlie, DMR on 31012, 14268 on 20, and 7192-ish on 40. And I would just like, again, I never think my net controls enough. Thank you guys for running the net every week, even when we go late, and you deal with us, and we love you for it. So thank you. And everyone have a great time in Huntsville. George, you as well. Thanks for joining us tonight. It was really fantastic seeing you. Of course, I get to hear you every week, so I'm spoiled. But everyone else, they've really missed you, and I felt like Smoke and Solder is back tonight when you talked about all your connectors. And one real quick comment. We found the same thing. We rolled out 4 different lines of coax this weekend to go camping because I picked a tree that was really, really far away from the camper. And we had some issues, and it was all about that little itty bitty little pin sticking out too far. It'll piss you off. Okay, so anyhow, and we had to do a lot of searching for that. Anyhow, found the problem, but George has a perfect connector for you now. All right. Josh, I'll send it over to you.
I'm good. Let everybody quick go around. Anybody want to mention something before we close? Because we're way over time.
Dawn works late on Tuesday nights. Amanda, you got to remind me about that net. I'll join you guys.
Okay.
I can never remember. So yeah. I'm done. I'll see everybody at Huntsville. If you're not going to Huntsville, then there's something wrong with it. I don't want you in the house.
Yeah, and Mark's still here, so we'll wave to Mark too. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the show tonight.
We'll see you soon. All right, everybody. So that's it from us here at Ham Nation. Until we talk to you, hopefully in a couple of days. 73, everybody. See ya.
73.
73.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
Yeah, I can really hear it now.
They all of a sudden started going psycho.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't hear them.
I didn't hear
them.
them.
I've got headphones on.
Oh, let me turn the microphone.
Grease must be getting hot.